Hi, my name is Akeem Dotson, Team USA, and you're watching New Yorker with Samir.
Guys, first thing first, the winner of last week's contest is Manu Goswami, $50 gift card. Now, if you want to qualify as well, click that like button and like our page. It's that simple. Welcome to the show, guys. Who's your least favorite bowler or most favorite bowler to face?
Okay, so speaking of favorite bowlers, there's been some pretty big name bowlers that have been bowling in Calgary for the last little while. You've got people like Kurum Chauhan, you've got Tahir Mughal and Kashif Raza. They've all got plenty of experience, and I love the challenge in going up against them, and I can actually gauge my skills when I go up again and face these bowlers. In terms of least favorite bowler, I have to be honest here, I hate to admit it, but it's going to be this guy right here next to me, Ans. He gives me a lot of trouble there.
Ans, you've been playing here for a while. Over the last 10 years, do you think the cricket is more competitive or less competitive?
The cricket itself, I think it's more competitive. Clubs, I feel like more players, the professional players at least, are sticking to certain clubs. But so overall competition between those clubs has increased for sure.
Just to add on to that, I think if you look at the last few years, Calgary has been doing very well in the provincial level. When we go up against Edmonton, we've been dominating, and even Alberta as a whole. When we go to national tournaments like the NCL, we've been very successful. Yes. Yeah. And if you look at the national team itself, Calgary's had a really good representation in the last few years. Like we've got Hamza Tariq, Farhan Malik, Kurum Chauhan. All of these guys have gone on and played for Canada and been very successful. So I think that's giving it a thumbs up for cricket in Calgary.
Ans, you're not the quickest, nor do you produce extraordinary amount of swing. How did you become so successful?
How did I become so successful? Just a lot of practice, a lot of hard work, just day in, day out in the nets, just in consistency when you're on the field. That's my recipe.
I was talking to somebody from United a few weeks ago, and they told me that you're one of those players who works hard, doesn't care about batting at all, while you're in nets.
Yeah, usually if we're practicing for an hour, I'm in there bowling for an hour, and if we're practicing longer, some of it goes to fielding, but most of it is bowling, because in a game situation, I rarely get to bat, and if I do, it usually comes naturally. You know, it's just because my game is just single double. I'm not trying to hit ball, out of the park or anything, so it comes naturally to just dab the ball and run. So you don't need much practice for that. So I just focus on my art of bowling.
Sudeepta, who do you think is the best fielder in Calgary?
Okay. That's a tough question. I'd like to think it's me. I take pride in my fielding. But in all seriousness, there's 3 or 4 guys that are stellar fielders. I've got Farhan Malik that has been around. He's known as one of the better fielders in even Team Canada. You've got Hamza Tariq, who's actually a wicketkeeper, but if you see him on the field, he actually lights it up when he has to. And got another guy in Abdullah. I forget his last name, but he's also pretty good fielder. So it's really hard to pick just one, but there's a group of 3 or 4 guys that are right up there, I think.
Next question is for both of you.
Okay.
If you were to leave your teams, who would you play for?
I'll let you take this one first, Nance.
Who would I play for? I think outside of United, if anybody plays similar to United, it's probably St. John's. So I'd probably go to St. John's. And there's a lot to learn from Eason, of course. He's one of the key bowlers for that.
That would help you with bowling for sure.
For sure.
It's funny that Ans says that because I'm polar opposite. I'm in St. John's. If there's a team that I would go to, it would be United. But as for now, I'm very loyal to St. John's, and I have people there that have been very good to me. But yeah, if I was to leave, if something happened that made me leave St. John's, I'd definitely go to United, because there's a lot of players there that I've been playing with since I've been playing cricket in Calgary. So people like Ans, Hamza, Indy, we're good friends, and if there's any club I was going to, it would be United.
So why don't you guys swap the seats now? So are you playing in Calgary next season?
No, actually, Samir, I moved to Edmonton for school, so I'll be there for the next couple of years. So I've picked a club in Edmonton to play for the next 2 years at least.
Edmonton City team is probably a bit more stronger with you moving to Edmonton, no?
Oh, I like to think so. I like to think so. It's going to be interesting next year. There's a good possibility that I'll be playing against Calgary, and I've been playing for Calgary for the last, I don't know, foreseeable past, I think. But it'll be interesting. I think Edmonton is a pretty strong team next year. They're getting a couple other good players as well. I think a player by the name of Tahir Mughal also moved there. And they've been training really hard over the winter. I've been to a couple of their practices. Zain Ahmed, he's running a really good show with the practices there. They're really fired up. They want to beat Calgary.
Yeah, you mentioned the team is working really hard. So I talked to Vardhan a few days ago, and this is what he had to say.
Well, it looks like Edmonton execs have taken the initiative to put up practices earlier this season. Quite frankly, they're kind of tired of losing to Calgary from the previous years. But I think coming up years will give them a good fight. And if the practices keep going like this, we'll give them a good fight. And also big ups to Zain Ahmed for being the coach, being the elder guy who's there. Execs are kind of organizing the practice, but he's kind of taking the initiative to be the coach.
Ans, you almost got picked for Alberta team last year. What things do you think you need to do to get over the line this year?
I've been working on my pace, going to the gym. Hopefully I increase that for next year. And keep my head down, keep working hard. I thought I should have made it last year, but clearly I need to work on my fielding and improve cricketing sense a little more, and that should help me get over the line.
You mentioned cricketing sense. In what way?
Just reading the game.
While I was doing the research, Ans, I found out that you've been recently appointed captain for T20 squad for United. What's going on?
I'm really excited. I'm going to be the captain for T20 with my vice captain Farhan Malik. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping to follow the system that United has and add a few more things of my own. I'm hoping to give Farhan Malik a few games to captain as well, because we both want to learn more about cricket and analyze the game on the spot, because that's what T20 is. And we unfortunately lost last year T20 to Crown. It was a very close game. So I'm hoping to bring that trophy back for sure.
Sudeepta, your experience with U19 Canadian team?
Okay. I've been on a few tours with the Under-19 Canada team, and honestly, it's very proud feeling to be able to represent your country at a world stage. So it's one of the proudest accomplishments I have. It's gotten me to some very, very exotic places. I've been to the Caribbean, some places in Europe, and all of that. I've met some incredible people. I've made some friends that I'll have for the rest of my life, and the experience that I've had with the team, I'm gonna have it throughout my life. So,
Ans, Hamza Tariq is no longer playing for United. You guys have played cricket for past 10 years. He kept for you for past 10 years. What's gonna happen now?
We've pretty much played together since under 15. I was 13, and we've been in the same club. But I think for the past 2 years, he's made the transition really smooth. He's groomed Burhan as the next keeper for United really well. He's been keeping behind the stumps for us, and I think it shouldn't affect us too much. We have played a lot of big games without him. We won last year and a few T20 finals without him, so it shouldn't affect us too much. But obviously, he's a key player for us, so it does. Some players will have to step up their games and take that role.
Yeah, what he's left behind is the culture.
Yes,
that's definitely gonna impact your success.
Definitely. Anytime he's learned something, he's obviously taught the rest of the team to do things the right way, or approach the game a certain way. So it's around the club. Like I said earlier, we have a system. So Burhan is in that system, so he should do really well for next year. He's pumped. We're all excited. It's going to be a new challenge for us. So.
All right, I'm going to give you a scenario. Ans is bowling, last over, 10 runs to win. What's your game plan?
Okay, so this exact scenario actually happened, I think, a couple of years ago. You bowling the super over to me and Rajat. Didn't go so well for me back then. Ans bowled, I think, 6 Yorkers in a row, and weren't able to get any away. So I think I've thought about it since then. I've got some tricks or tips that I'm just gonna use. I don't know if I should reveal them just now.
I was thinking the same thing. I don't know if I want to tell you. But I've been working on other than Yorkers. I've been watching a lot of T20, so slower balls I've been working on, and just improving that Yorker a little more.
Yeah.
No, I want to go back to Sudeepta, and I want to actually know, what's your alternative plan now? I want to know whether it works or not. I still would like to.
You know what? I think I've been looking at a lot of YouTube videos and just even the international games in general. I've been noticing lots of batsmen that are successful in hitting outside or going for boundaries in the end overs. People like De Villiers and let's say Tony, whoever. I've noticed them going back and across really deep in their crease. That sort of like opens up the field for them, and they open up their front foot a little bit.
Taking notes.
You just go back, you open up the field of play, and you can hit anywhere you want. So I've been practicing that a little bit of power hitting. So I think hopefully that'll come in handy. Maybe against Calgary next year.
It's good to know.
Ans, you have won MVP twice in 2014 and 15. Does that add a lot of pressure to you, or does that ease off a little bit of pressure?
I think it adds a little more pressure. You want to outdo yourself the next year. My economy actually went down the previous season, and I'm hoping to improve that next season. Just keep it as low as possible, because that's my strength, and I'm hoping to three-peat.
What was the difference? Do you know?
I believe that 2014 was 2.9, and last year was 4. So which is really it's really
up.
bad.
It
went up, so it's really bad for me. But average was pretty similar. I think this year was like 12 runs per wicket, and last year was 10. So average didn't take too much of a hit, but economy definitely.
Time for some Yorkers. Most annoying person in your team.
For all his questions, Abdullah Khan.
Favorite candy?
Lollipops.
Long on or point?
Long gone.
Long hair or short hair?
Short.
Drake or Eminem?
Eminem.
Favorite show?
Breaking Bad.
Favorite place to visit? Next. Favorite fielding position?
Point.
Favorite shot?
Cut shot.
Favorite shot?
Full shot.
Favorite bowler?
Mohammad Asif.
AB or Kohli?
ABD full years.
Favorite captain?
Hamza.
Red ball or white ball?
A white ball.
Wahab or Amir?
Amir.
Bevan or Dhoni?
Bevan.
Warner or De Kock?
De Kock.
Alright guys, thank you so much for coming over and sharing your thoughts. Really appreciate that. I wish you both all the best. I hope you get picked for Alberta team this year. And Sip, I wish you all the best. You're going to be playing for Edmonton for the first year. I wish all goes well. Thank you so much once again.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Can we say a beer together? 3, 2, 1, beer.
Yo.